Hi everyone, and welcome to another video. For this one, I'm going to be doing a catwalk TBR. I'm hoping that this version will be the last one. I have some ideas of additional prompts to add to my game, so I hope to work on that and have it done by January. Now, the last TBR game, I said I was just going to do the prompts and then just kind of pick whatever as the time went on. Yeah, that didn't work out so well. I mean, it was still fine. I still read, but it didn't work out as well as I had hoped. I definitely need to pick the books. This was a great learning experience. I definitely need to pick the books that I am leaning towards. And then if I'm just really not feeling it, then I have the choice to swap out a different book for that particular prompt. But I need to create an actual TBR because I don't know, it's kind of just like this little extra structure I need. Even though I know December's going to be busy, I just need to have it kind of planned out. So that is something I have learned. I am not as much of a mood reader as I would have thought I would have hoped. I need to pick the books, and if I'm just really not feeling a certain book, then pick something else that fits the prompt. So I will be picking books in this particular one. Let me tell you kind of how my reading went. We're just going to kind of sweep it under the rug like it didn't really happen all that much. I read a middle grade. I read Ice Whisperers. This is by Helenka, Stachera. I believe I gave this one 4 stars. I only have one tab in here, and it was really sweet. I really liked this book. This is actually a debut novel for this author, and I think this next one, I can't remember if it is already available in the UK or not, but the next book, this is a standalone, but the next book that the author has written is definitely not available in the US at this time, but I'm keeping my eye out. I am definitely going to want to do this. I found this very well written. I liked this quote: "Without pain, there would be no discovery, no progress." You know, it's like knowing without, good, you wouldn't know what's bad, and without bad, you wouldn't know what's good. And even though it sucks to have the bad, at least you're able to differentiate between the two. So anyway, so this one, it says the story of 2 sisters born 40,000 years apart. This was really good. So basically there's this group of people, they're basically called black eyes, because you know how like the white of your eyes, except it's like dark and black, with this ancient group that was like 40,000 years ago. And the people that actually have white eyes are basically invading their area, and so they have this ability to put this stone or something special in their mouth, and they go to sleep. They basically freeze themselves in the snow in the land, and it just goes from that point. There's a discovery made, someone lives, and it just goes from there. So I don't know, I really liked it. It's like the bond of sisterhood in this is so good, because they literally are biological sisters that are 40,000 years apart, but yet they're the same age. You figure out more about that as the story goes. But I loved the bond of sisterhood, how at first it's like, no, this is my mom, and then so it's like, I'm not going to accept you as a sister, but then as trials come and you get to know each other more, how that bond and acceptance can grow. So I don't know. I mean, I have siblings, I have step siblings, and I have half siblings. So I have siblings, but I'm not connected to them. I wish I did have a better connection to them, but it's just how life is, unfortunately. And I've never had that big of a bond with them. And that's ever since I was little, so that's obviously, the fault of the parent, but now I feel like we're so distant, we're completely strangers. I don't know how to connect with them, and I don't even know how to connect with them at this point. if they even know much about me, but I don't know. So let's just ignore that little side tangent. So anyway, I liked this one. I believe I gave this one 4 stars. The other book that I read is a romance book, and that is Summer at the Castle Cafe by Donna Ashcroft. This one I will say, so there's a couple of things I tabbed in here. It does say it's a romantic comedy. There is in this one a sexually explicit scene, but I would say it's done in a way that I actually didn't really mind it. Yes, it was more graphic than I personally like, but at the same time, I was able to kind of forgive it of the sexual explicitness because of how it was handled. It was done in a way that was more tender rather than rough. You know, I've read other books where it has sexually explicit scenes and I feel like it's abrupt. Can be a little rough around the edges, hard, abrupt, bold and in your face. This one I felt like was more tender, more sweet. And so I liked that take on it a lot more than a lot of the romance books I've read. So I have read another book by Donna Ashcroft, and I don't remember what it was, but there was no sexually explicit scene in that one. This one is actually the start of a series. I think it's only a duology. The next one is... oh, it's a Christmas one, and I actually ordered it and got that. But I don't know, I just love this one. Let me read you a couple of things that I underlined. And so this first one says, change isn't easy. No, it's not. Kath's expression darkens. Sometimes change is the hardest thing of all. And then you have, you know what they say about fear, don't you? What? You have to face it. So that's one of the things. So you have Kath, who lives in this small town in somewhere, I want to say in England, I could be wrong, but she lives on the coast where you can go swim in the ocean, and obviously with romance, there is a romance. I could see a lot of myself in Kath as far as her love of organizing. I love to organize. I'm not great at it, but I do love organizing. You do deal a lot with grief in this book. I can't remember if I gave this one a 4 or a 5 star. And I thought that the way that grief was handled was very well done. It kind of tackled it with different aspects to really show how people that are dealing with the loss of someone that they love will handle things differently, how some cope differently, how some might take a little longer to heal than others, and things like that. Very well done. Okay, that's all. That's all I have read. It's just these 2 books for the month of November. And today, as of filming this, is November 27th, and I've read 2 books. Now, I am reading on audiobook. I am listening to a book called Lethal Passage. It is about the gun control issues with school shootings going on in America, and it's a nonfiction, and it follows this case about this kid who's like 15 or 16 and how he got into possession of a gun, and why he did, and why he decided to go and do a shooting. Turns out he was bullied. I mean, that's no excuse, but that was his reasoning. And then it also talks about the history of how guns became as they are now in the United States. Very fascinating. I will finish that this month. I only have like an hour and a half left on that. As far as my ebook goes, I am reading The Very Secret Society of Irregular Witches. I have like 2 or 3 chapters left on that. I will finish that this month as well. This one's a little iffy. I am currently reading Storm and Fury by Jennifer L. Armentrout. I am on chapter 15 and there's like 37 chapters. I hope to finish this month. So within the next 3 days, 4 including today. I don't know how realistic that's going to be, but that is my hope. So I hope to finish that this month. This next book will not be done this month, but I am reading The Little Book of Hygge, The Danish Way to Live Well by Meik, Wiking. I am on page 63. This is a nonfiction, so I just read a little bit here and there, but I did find one thing I wanted to share real quick. It says, our words and language shape our hopes and dreams for the future, and our dreams for the future shape how we act today. This has been fun so far. It's been a very enjoyable read. I will not finish this one this month. I'll be surprised if I do. Very surprised. But that's what I read for November. Now, slate is clean. Let's go ahead and get into the roles for the month of December for my Catwalk TBR, and then we'll get the prompts and we'll pick the books this time. I do better with that. I have to have books picked. So I'm going to do that. Before I do, I have to go pick someone up. So I'm going to run and do that. When I come back, we'll get the rolls done, which you won't even know that I've been gone except for maybe an adjustment in the lighting and stuff like that. But let's go ahead and get into it and go from there. Roll number 1. This is a 3. Okay, so as you can see, we left off on the paw print. So now we're going to move 3. 1, 2, 3, and that's Cat Show or Best in Show. So basically a book with a beautiful cover. All right, for prompt number 1, which was Best in Show or Cat Show, either one works, that is to read a book that I think has a beautiful cover. For this one, I'm going to go ahead and go with Beautiful Little Fools. This is by Jillia and Cantor. I like the old-fashioned photo, and then I like the design of the gold foiling. Kind of like it's a picture. I don't know. I just think it's really pretty. Let's see. I don't see... Where is... Oh. On a sultry August day in 1922, Jay Gatsby is shot dead in his West Egg swimming pool. To the police, it appears to be an open and shut case of murder-suicide when the body of George Wilson, a local mechanic, is found in the woods nearby. Then a diamond hairpin is discovered in the bushes by the pool, and 3 women fall under suspicion. Each holds a key that can unlock the truth to the mysterious life and death of this enigmatic millionaire. Daisy Buchanan once thought she might marry Gatsby before her family was torn apart by an unspeakable tragedy that sent her into the arms of the philandering Ton Buchanan. Jordan Baker, Daisy's best friend, guards a secret that derailed her promising golf career and threatens to ruin her friendship with Daisy as well. Catherine McCoy, a suffragette, fights for women's freedom and independence, and especially for her sister, Myrtle Wilson, who's trapped in a terrible marriage. Their stories unfold in the years leading up to that fateful summer of 1922, when all 3 of their lives are on the brink of unraveling. Each woman is pulled deeper into Jay Gatsby's romantic obsession with devastating consequences for all of them. So, I don't know, I like the cover, I like the old-fashioned photograph. I just really like that, so that works. Okay, roll number 2. Is a 4. All right, moving 4 spots. 1, 2, 3, 4. Catnip. This is a good one. A book that is less than or equal to 250 pages. So a short book. Prompt number 2, I landed on Catnip, and that was to read a short book, which I have classified as a book that is less than or equal to 250 pages. For this one, I'm going to read a graphic novel, and that is Housecat Trouble by Mason Dickerson. When I looked at this one, it is 172, 173 pages, so definitely fits for a short book. It'll be a quick read, and the only thing I know is it is about Housecat troubles. It says, Buster has only one job, keep the house safe. Too bad Buster is a scaredy cat, so when his owner goes away and he suddenly finds his home filled with monsters, Buster has a big problem. Can he learn to be brave before his owner gets back? So, I think that sounds cute, and I think I'll really enjoy that. Roll number 3. Six. All right, moving 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Another Cat Show or Best in Show. So another book with a beautiful cover. All right, so prompt number 3 is Best in Show. This is, or also Cat Show, another beautiful cover. This one is the book I was thinking of when I talked at the beginning when I read that book by Donna Ashcroft, Summer at the Castle Cafe. This is the second book in that, and that is The Little Christmas Tea Shop of Second Chances by Donna Ashcroft. This one says, this follows different characters, so I am going to read the back. I really liked this cover. It just looks, you have snow falling in the back, you have a bunch of treats there. I don't know, I just think it's really pretty. So anyway, let's go ahead and I'll read the back so you know what this one is about. 25-year-old Lily King is wondering when her life is going to start. She adores working at the much-loved Castle Tea Shop, surrounded by familiar faces and delicious cakes, but she's stuck in a rut. She's just been dumped by her boyfriend, and her dream job seems to be slipping through her fingers. When her best friend, Emily Campbell, needs urgent help to organize her enchanting Christmas wedding, Lily realizes it's finally her moment to shine and reach for the opportunities she's been wishing for. Can she pull off the biggest celebration Castle Cove has ever seen, or will something or someone make things more complicated than she imagined? Rebellious and handsome photographer Josh Haviland Scott has always felt like an outsider, especially next to his perfect older brother who is about to get married. At the last minute, Josh finds himself roped into plans for the big day, the very last thing he wants to do, until he meets creative and quirky Lily King. When Lily and Josh are thrown together, it's clear they couldn't be more different. But then they begin to realize the opposites can attract, and sometimes when you're not looking for love, it comes and finds you when you least expect it. With some magic, will they manage to work together and save the day? So, wintry, Christmassy romance by Donna Ashcroft. I'm looking forward to this one because I loved the other one. All right. Roll number 4. Eight. Okay, moving 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Oh, litter box. So this is a book that I think has an ugly cover, or a cover that I really don't care for. Prompt number 4, I landed on Litter Box, which is a book that has a cover I'm not too keen on. For this one, I am going with actually an arc. This book released in September of 2021, so it's been a year, and I've had this arc, and I do need to get to it. But this is Eating Salad Drunk, so it's just a drawing, and the cover doesn't draw me in. The title does, but the cover does not. All I can tell you is that this is Haikus for the Burnout Age by comedy greats, and mainly by Gabe Henry, it looks like, or compiled by, but just a bunch of haikus, little poems, sayings. So this will be a quick read, and I really should get to this one. So, Eating Salad Drunk. Roll number 5. 8. Okay, moving 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. YouTube plus 5 prompts. Okay, we'll come back to that one in a moment. But yeah, going off of another YouTuber's or BookTuber's TBR game. So as you can see, I got the YouTube, which now this is my jar of BookTubers that currently have or have had a TBR game. So I'm going to draw a name out of this, and then we'll go with what their TBR game is. I will pick 5 prompts from whatever prompts they generate. If they do 6, I only have to pick 5. If they do 5, it's 1 of each. And if they do like 3 prompts, then 2 of the prompts I have to do multiple times. So makes sense. I just need to get 5 prompts from that one channel. So let's see who it is I'll be basing these next prompts off of. Mix it just a little. Okay. Got one here. Put the jar down before I drop it. Okay, and this is Danielle from Bookara, and her game is called Getting Away with Murder, which is based off of Clue. I love that game. Clue is my second favorite board game, my first favorite being the game of life. But I love a good Clue game. So I'm excited for this one. And I will take a look and see what she has posted. If she has not done her December one yet, I can't remember if she did or not, but definitely her November. But I'll take a look and I'll come back and let you know. Let's talk about the YouTube prompt. So for this one, it was a +5. So this one I had to add 5 additional books onto my TBR, which I did. So I've got 5 additional books. The YouTuber or booktuber that I pulled was Danielle from Bookara. I'll link Danielle's channel in the description box. I do recommend checking it out. She has an awesome channel. So she does a TBR game, which is Getting Away with Murder. This is a way for her to pick some books for her monthly TBR based on the game of Clue. I love the game of Clue. My favorite board game is Life, but Clue is a very close second. I do like Clue. So she did 4 prompts. So there was one prompt that I selected to do twice since it is +5 prompts. Now this particular round she played as Miss Peacock, and who with Clue is, I was always wanted to either be Miss Peacock because it was blue, or I wanted to be Miss White because she was the chef. Miss Scarlet was like my least, everyone wanted Miss Scarlet, and I didn't. I guess sometimes I did when it was like, well, everyone wants her, I should want to play Miss Scarlet, but Miss Peacock and Mrs. White were my favorite. Anyway, so she did 4 prompts. So obviously you're going to know with me going through this what prompts she got. I do recommend checking out her channel if you have not watched her TBR game, so that you know what prompts that she got herself and what books she selected. I will not tell you what books Danielle selected to fulfill the prompts, but obviously you're going to know the prompts because I'm going to go through them. Okay, so let's just go ahead. Prompt number 1 is a new to you author. For this one, I'm going to go ahead and go with another graphic novel, and this is Hey Kiddo by Jarrett J. Krosaka. This one I think is going to be hard. I think this one is actually a non-fiction, if I remember right, so it's kind of like a non-fiction biography or memoir. All I know is it can be hard-hitting, and the tagline on the front says, "How I Lost My Mother, Found My Father, and Dealt with Family Addiction." So, but it's a graphic novel, so it'll be a fairly quick read, and that's all I know about that one. This used to be my mom's, and she gave it to me. She thinks I'll like it, so I trust her recommendation. Number 2. Now, this one was a little different. I had to kind of think how I was going to do this one. Danielle got a book from her shelf, like a self-destruct book. I don't do self-destruct books. I just have no interest in doing those. But I decided to go with an ARC that I've had for a while because I do have quite a few of advanced readers copies or ARCs that I have not gotten to. And I really should. All of mine, if I go by the dates on these advanced readers copies, all of these books are already fully released. This one being no exception. This one, I think, is one of the older ones on my shelf. And that is Real Life by Adeline. And I don't know how to say that, so I'm just going to leave it at Adeline. The publication for this, as you can see, there's no cover, so I don't know what the cover officially looks like. The publication for this one was February 4th of 2020, and I have yet to read this one. I have picked this up to try to read this a couple of times, and I've never had time to get to it. So I've never read any of it yet, but I really want to. So I'm excited to finally get to this one, and I really don't know much about this. Let's see. Okay, there is a synopsis on the back, so let me go ahead and read this synopsis. It says, "At home there are 4 bedrooms, one for her little brother Sam, one for her parents, and one for the carcasses. Her father is a big game hunter, a powerful predator, and her mother is submissive to her violent husband's demands. The young narrator spends the day with Sam, playing in the shells of cars dumped for scrap and listening out for the melody of the ice cream truck, until a brutal accident shatters their world. The uncompromising pen, of the author, flashes of brilliance, brings the characters to life in a world that is dark and sensual, with breathtaking debut, sharp and funny coming of age tale, which reality and fantasy collide. So that's Real Life by Adeline, and that's all I know about it. But I should have gotten to that much sooner, so I'll be able to not feel so guilty about that sitting on my shelf anymore. So anyway, as you can see behind me, I have some new shelves here under my window, and I decided to put one of Ophi's cat mats on there because she loves to look out the window, so I've got it lifted up so you get to see a bit of Ophi when I am filming here when she decides she's going to be there. She's taking a bath now. Okay, prompt number 3 that Danielle got is a book I've been meaning to read all year. Pretty much every book on my shelf I've been meaning to read all year. One I've been wanting to get to for a while is a middle grade, and this is the second in a trilogy, and this is A Sprinkle of Sorcery by Michelle Harrison. The first book was A Pinch of Magic. Thoroughly enjoyed that one. I've been wanting to get to this one, and yeah, so I'm going to read the very brief synopsis. It's literally like 3 sentences. So, 3 sisters with a magical secret. A race against time to find a place that exists only in fairy tales. A journey that will take them into unimaginable danger. So, I enjoyed the first one, and I look forward to continuing on. I did like, in the first one, Michelle Harrison's writing. I have this whole trilogy, and I have another trilogy by Michelle Harrison, so I really would like to get to more of her work. So that'll be the second book of Michelle Harrison that I read. Obviously the third one from Danielle's Book Horror channel, December, Getting Away with Murder Game. Moving on, the 4th prompt that she got was a clue card. For this one, my understanding is it's a list of books. She has a book per card of ones that she needs to get to. You'll have to watch Danielle's channel to learn more about that. So for this one, because it was just a random book that I've never heard of, I didn't know what I was going to do with this until I heard her say the author's name. And I realized I've heard that name before, and I actually have a book by that author on my shelf, and so I decided I'll just read a book by that author. If it would have been a book that I had, I think I would have selected that book to read it. I mean, why not? But the author is Harlan Coben. Again, watch Danielle's game, her December game, to find out what book she selected, but I am going to go with Caught. This is the only Harlan Coben on my shelf. I have never read a Harlan Coben, so I hope I like this. I do enjoy the cover. It draws me in. And let's tell you what the back says. It says, Haley McWade never gave her parents a moment's worry until one morning her mother wakes to find that her 17-year-old daughter didn't come home the night before. The community is stunned by her loss. 3 months pass without a word, and everyone assumes the worst. Wendy Tynes is a reporter on a mission to identify and bring down sexual predators. Her latest target is a social worker known as a friend to troubled teens. But Wendy soon realizes she can't trust her own instincts or the motives of the people around her, and that this story is more twisted than she could have imagined. So, sounds really good. Obviously, right off the bat with reading this is if you don't like anything regarding sexual predators, or anything like that, then this would be one to avoid. I don't mind reading about that. I am excited to give this author a try and see what I think. So that is Caught by Harlan Coben. So those are the 4 prompts that Danielle from Book Horror got. So obviously where I had to add 5, I just decided to repeat one of the other prompts. The prompt I selected to double up on or do twice is a new to you author. This one I am going to go with a manga, and this manga has been pretty popular on BookTube that I have seen. A lot of people have read this and have absolutely loved this. And the way that some people have described this have intrigued me. And I have not read this. So that is going to be Dreamin' Sun. This is volume 1. Obviously a new to me author. I have not read this before. And the author is a story and art by Ichigo Takano. I'm sure I said that wrong, but Dreamin' Sun. Let's see, let me try to read the back. because I can't really tell you much of what it's about. It says, Kimiko Shimana feels out of place in her own home. Her mother is dead, and her father and stepmom only seem to care about Shimana's 6-month-old baby brother. When Shimana decides to skip school and runs away to a nearby park, she stumbles upon a mysterious man in a kimono. The stranger, Fujiwara Tiaga, offers Shimana a place to stay, on 3 conditions. The first condition is that Shimana must tell him why she ran away from home. The second is that she must retrieve his missing house key. The third condition is to have a dream and fall in love. Shimana's never been in love or had a dream of her own before, but to secure her own apartment, she's willing to try. I've heard this is very sweet and people love it. It's rated teen, so YA, contemporary romance, I'm thinking, but in manga. So yeah, so these are the 5 books that I have selected. Let me turn this other one over a little bit so you can see the spine. These are the 5 books that I have selected from watching Danielle's December TBR game. Okay, hopefully final roll. Hopefully last official roll number 5 is a 5. Now moving 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 paw prints, so a random generator. Alright, so while I've got you here, let's go ahead and figure out the paw print's a random generator, so I need to figure a random number between 1 and 3 to pick what generator I'm going to be using. So let me get that pulled up on my phone. Okay, so I have the minimum number 1, the max 3, and it's the 3rd random, oh, come on, focus, there we go, 3rd random generator. So, okay, there's the random generator, so I go from this way to this way. So it's basically just this one right here. Come on. Which is a random picture. Alright, and so this is the one that just auto-loaded, but we're going to generate. And so it's kind of like a boardwalk that goes out into the ocean. So I can work with that. I've got a couple of things that have kind of come to mind. So the 5th official prompt, I landed on a paw print, which is a random generator. For this one, I generated random number 3, which turned out to be a random picture. And this one looked like it was like a boardwalk that goes out into a foggy area, which generally these boardwalks are over a body of water, whether it be a lake or an ocean. So this one, I don't have anything that has a boardwalk that I know of, and nothing that I know of on the cover. So I'm just going with a body of water, whether it's lake or ocean. For this one, I'm going to go ahead and go with To Kill a Kingdom by Alexandra Christo. I have had this one for a bit. This was in, was this Owl Crate or LitJoy? LitJoy. So this was when I subscribed to LitJoy Crate. I got this one. How long ago was that? It's been a bit. This was, I'm trying to see if there's a publication date, 2018. So it would have been fairly after when it was released that I would have gotten this, if not that same month. Came with an art print, so yeah. And then it's just, you know, some tentacles and stuff. And yeah, so let's go ahead, and it came with a signed book plate. I would love to do LitJoy again. I have really enjoyed the books that they've done in their box. On the cover has a sword embossed on it, which you can't, I don't know if I can get, there you go, just a little, you can't really see it, but anyway, so that's there. Let's go ahead and read the synopsis. For those of you who don't know, this is a YA. LitJoy has done YA. It's been a while since I've looked into it, so I don't know if there's any changes, but let's read this synopsis. Let's see. Princess Lyra is siren royalty and the most lethal of them all. When the hearts of 17 princes in her with the heart of 17 princes in her collection, she is revered across the sea, until a twist of fate forces her to kill one of her own. To punish her daughter, the Sea Queen transforms Lyra into the one thing sirens loathe most, a human. Robbed of her song, Lyra has until the winter solstice to deliver Prince Elian's heart to the Sea Queen or remain a human forever. The ocean is the only place Elian calls home, even though he is heir to the most powerful kingdom in the world. Hunting sirens is more than an unsavory hobby. It's his calling. When he rescues a drowning woman in the ocean, she's more than what she appears. She promises to help him find the key to destroying all of siren kind for good. But can he trust her? And just how many deals with will Elian have to broker to eliminate humankind's greatest enemy? So I think, one, the ocean is going to be a big part of this, but two, with the boardwalks, I kind of see it as like a transition from land to water, and so where she's going from water to land, and then hopefully from land to water, unless there's a romance and she falls in love and decides to stay human. Who knows? You never know. So I think this will work. If it's stretching it, I don't care. This is the closest I could think of to getting that prompt fulfilled. So this is the 5th official. So for the Catwalk TBR books only, the 5 of them, that would be these. Not too bad. None of them's a big chunker. They're all pretty short. I think the longest one is going to be around like 350 pages or less. So very doable. I definitely hope to get to these. If I get to these prompts and I'm just not feeling this book, I'll try to find something else to swap that'll fit the prompt. But I think this will help me and I'll be able to read more. So altogether, that's 10 books. Let me add my original 5. The stack is definitely a bit more daunting, but most of these, I do have one that's a bunch of haikus, so a bunch of poems, that'll be easy. I have a manga. I have 2 graphic novels. So there's 3 of them that'll be very quick. Most of these are short, so I'm hoping this will be doable for the month of December. So again, I found that just picking the prompts doesn't quite work for me. I like to have structure. And then if I just get to the book and decide I don't want to read it, then I am at liberty to swap that out for a different book that'll fit the prompt. I think this will go a lot better for me. This will be more motivation to pick up books for me. And I think this just works better. So I was hoping, because, I mean, it's December with retail, you are quite a bit busier. I was hoping to be able to just do prompts and then kind of mood read, but that didn't quite work out for me in November, and I don't like how it did not work out. So back to picking up the books. So that'll be it. Let me know if you've read any of these books, if you like them or not. Just, yeah, definitely let me know. If there's a prompt that you like, that you have a book that you're excited to get to that you think will fit that prompt, let me know. Just talk to me in the comment section below. Until next time, stay true to yourself and enjoy a good book. And I'll talk to you later.